Dick Durbin wasn't ready for that exchange.
What I don't understand is why my senator of Illinois, Mr. Durbin, haven't heard two words from him toward me.
During a Senate hearing on sanctuary policies, an angel father went straight at Durbin, but instead of addressing it directly, he deflected and took the gaslighting route.
I'm sorry that the Department of Homeland Security and some Republican members of this committee have decided this is going to be a political free-for-all.
And today, we're covering it all. So hit that subscribe button and let's jump right into it.
The defenders of these policies always want to keep this debate at a level of theory. They want to talk about values and discretion and trust and constitutional structure. They never want to talk about the consequences. But the consequences are the story. The consequences look like Laken Riley, murdered by an illegal alien who had already had encounters with law enforcement and was still turned loose in a system that puts ideology ahead of public safety. The consequences look like Stephanie Minter, an American mother whose killer was shielded by Fairfax County's sanctuary policies. They look like Katie Abraham, a young woman in Illinois killed by an illegal immigrant drunk driver who had already been deported once, re-entered the country, and evaded the laws thanks to sanctuary policies. These are not freak accidents. They're not acts of God. They are foreseeable consequences of public officials making a conscious decision to obstruct immigration enforcement and release people who should never have been released back onto the streets in the first place.
He's absolutely right. You hear a lot of claims that sanctuary policies lead to safer communities. But when you look at crime trends in those jurisdictions, you get an understanding of where things truly stand. Just think about it. Instead of alerting federal authorities of somebody who's in custody and can be deported, they end up releasing them back to the streets. And that's how we end up with stories like Joe Abraham, whose daughter was killed in a hit-and-run crash that involved an illegal immigrant in January 2025 in Illinois. But the thing is, during the hearing, most speakers took a moment to acknowledge his loss, but Durbin chose not to, and that didn't sit well with him.
Mr. Abraham, thank you in particular for being here today.
Thank you.
I want to extend my deepest condolences.
I appreciate it. I also appreciate Ranking Member Welsh and Mr. Padilla for recognizing that. What I don't understand is why my senator of Illinois, Mr. Durbin, haven't heard two words from him toward me. It's awful.
You have nothing to apologize for, and what happened to your daughter never should have happened to her and never should have happened to your family. God bless you, sir.
It was preventable. That's
Yes.
I think what
Yes.
everyone's missing
Yes.
here is that was preventable. That did not have to happen. He was identified. They knew who he was. He was pulled over by local police. Bang up job on that one. Let go to do this. And now we're okay. You know, Governor Pritzker will say, oh, look, you got justice. We found him. If crime happens, you're good to go. We got him, and he's incarcerated now. And my point there is,
Your daughter should still be alive.
My daughter's in a grave. She'll never see the light of day. Will he? Yes. But what did you do for him? You did nothing for him. You left him aimlessly in Illinois, and now he'll sit in decades, hopefully, in jail. Bang up job, Illinois, on that one.
Yep. And the person that caused the crash is a Guatemalan national who was using a Mexican alias, someone who had been previously deported, but managed to make his way back to Illinois. Not to mention the fact that he was in possession of fake identification and a bogus social security card when he was captured in Texas. When you lay all that out, it's not hard to see how this could have been prevented. But due to policies driven by nothing but ideology, it was allowed to happen. And here's where it gets even more absurd. The moment anyone calls for stricter immigration enforcement, they're labeled as a racist or a bigot and quickly dismissed. Eventually, when Dick had the chance to respond, instead of acknowledging Joe's loss, he took the old gaslighting route. Take a look.
This committee is the right place to have a serious bipartisan conversation about how to prevent further tragedies like this. I'm sorry that the Department of Homeland Security and some Republican members of this committee have decided this is going to be a political free-for-all. Our broken immigration system is in desperate need of bipartisan reform. We need order at our border. I've said this repeatedly, I'll say it again. We should never knowingly allow a dangerous person to come into this country. If someone is in this country seeking citizenship or legal status and commits a serious crime, they should be deported immediately. Let's start there. Is that a good bipartisan start? I hope so. The reality is that neither the Democrat or Republican administrations have delivered on promises made. And President Trump's reckless mass deportation campaign has not made us safer. Congress needs to step up and do our job, fix our broken immigration system. Some of the speeches you've already heard in this room were given by individuals who'd had a chance to vote for bipartisan comprehensive immigration reform and voted no.
Look, you can agree or disagree with the Trump administration's immigration enforcement approach, but you can't say his policies didn't make the country safer. You see, within weeks of his return to office, the southern border was practically under control. On top of that, overall crime levels dropped to levels not seen in decades. Even CNN had to acknowledge it. Turns out that a tougher stance paired with consistent enforcement tends to produce results that benefit everyone in the country. But when it comes to the bipartisan immigration bill Dick keeps referencing like a broken record, not only was it a terrible piece of legislation, it would have codified Biden's open border policies. That's why John Cornyn took the opportunity to call out Durbin's absurd argument. And he made some valid points.
Mr. Chairman, may I respond briefly? You weren't here when 2013 when this bill was on the floor, and I was, and so he could only be referring to me. So I'm a little sick and tired of hearing our colleagues talk about a failed piece of legislation as somehow a panacea. I bet that's cold comfort to Mr. Abraham and other families who've lost loved ones, because criminal aliens are here in the United States thanks to 4 years of Biden open border policies and are preying on innocent American citizens. And our colleagues say, well, we should have passed a bipartisan immigration law back in 2013, while at the same time they refuse to fund immigration enforcement. It's just too much.
Listen, it's important to stay grounded in discussions like this, because we can talk all day about how things should work. But the world isn't perfect. We know that. And every policy decision should take that into account. By now, it's clear that no administration is going to deport every single person in the country illegally. The math alone just doesn't add up. And the political cost would be massive. But that doesn't mean nothing can be done. Nothing is stopping Congress from seriously reforming the immigration system. The last major effort happened during Reagan's second term, with some pointing to Clinton's first as well. Since then, everything has changed and millions have entered the country, but the system hasn't kept up. At some point, practical solutions have to take priority. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, you heard it here at the Dais.